Good evening and welcome to the Monday, January 13th, 2025 City Council meeting for the City of Lamar. I'm Eric Kirk Crespin. You know, this year has already really started off with a bang. We have so many different things happening in the City of Lamar, so many great things happening. Of course, many of you saw the video last week of us finally doing the grand opening of the Arby's, which has been a 5-year process trying to get that thing opened and live in our community. So that was a great accomplishment. We also have multiple businesses who are doing well and who are expanding and changing. I know we have A&M Breakfast here tonight who is expanding a lot of their services as well. So, you know, it's just great to see this momentum in our community of growth. And we want to encourage it and keep that momentum moving as we move forward. And it's not just in our business side, but it's also within our city itself. We've seen so many different projects, whether it's our streets projects or infrastructure improvements or working on our new wastewater treatment plant. These are all projects that are building us and setting us up for the future, for a strong future. And I want to continue that this year as we move forward into the new year, and as we move forward with all of the direction that the council and the city council and the city staff is working on. Now, next up, we're going to be talking to Chief Al Fear, who has done an incredible job of helping to make our community safer every day. And the new staff that we have, we're finally fully staffed. We still have a few things that we're working out and some changes, and he's going to talk about that later in this meeting. But there's a lot of positivity happening in our community. And I just want to say we have a great year starting off, a lot of great things, and I hope that you can join me in just keeping that momentum moving as we go forward. With that said, we're going to go ahead and start our city council meeting with the invocation. Who do we have tonight for the invocation? There we go.
Let us pray. Lord, as we gather to do the business of the city, as we begin this new year of business and excitement, we are so thankful to continue to work together. Let this meeting tonight not only have the intention of those moving forward with new jobs and new positions, but also great ideas and intention of moving forward as a community, as a city, going forward with great ideas into this great new year. Be with all the decisions made in this space tonight. Amen.
Amen. Councilwoman Mata, would you lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. The time is now 7:04 p.m. I'll call the meeting to order. Roll call.
Joe Gonzalez.
Here.
Shayla Mata.
Here.
Jerry Jenkins.
Here.
Kurt Crespin.
Here.
David Zavala.
Here.
Manuel Temez. Brent Bates.
Here.
Rob Evans.
Here.
Kristen Swartz.
Here.
Lance Clark.
Okay, as we review the agenda, there is one change that I would like to make. Back in the agenda, we had a section under the, I guess that was planning to be under item number 1 for new business. I would like to move that item number 1 for new business to the next item on the agenda before the consent agenda. Are you okay with that? We'll just do a verbal. We want to give the opportunity for the Lamar Police Department to do the oath of offices for the officers and to announce promotions and discuss things. So I'd like to move that to the beginning of the agenda. Are you good with that?
Mhm.
And that way, a lot of the individuals can go on and free up some space for us. All right, do we have a motion for that change?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify with an aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of.
Okay. All right, with that said, we will move on to the next item on the agenda, which would be a discussion from our city police chief, Al Fear. Al? Yeah.
Good evening, everybody. I'd like to call up Officer Maldonado, Officer Madrid, Officer Carrillo, and Officer Castillo. So as many of you know, excuse me, when I arrived here last July, there was a lot of challenges facing our police department. When I walked in the door, we were 5 people short, and we also had anywhere from 5 to 6 people injured at any given time over the fall. So of a 21-person department, I was able to use 10 people to manage the city and all the crime and all the issues that were happening here in Lamar. That meant officers were working 12, 13, 14, sometimes 16-hour days, not having days off during the week, which contributed to some mental wellness issues, stress, anxiety, frustration with the staff that's been here the entire time. I was able to hire these 4 incredible officers who are now in their field training officer program on the department. We finally got all of our people back from being injured. And for the first time in, I don't know how many years, lots of fingers up back there. We're fully staffed, and the future is looking fantastic for our department. I couldn't be happier with the guys and gals from our police agency. So tonight we're going to recognize our 4 new recruits who just got out of the academy not too long ago. They're all homegrown officers who know the area and they know the people. Obviously, you can tell by the number of people here tonight, they're fully supported by our community. I would like for the family members who are going to be pinning our 4 new recruits to come up, please. Go ahead, turn around, guys.
You guys can back up to the dais here. That way you have more room if you want to do that.
Come on up and pin your officer without stabbing them in the chest, hopefully. Just a little bit of blood, not a big deal.
Tough material.
Yeah, that's right. It's a brand new shirt, you know.
Yeah.
We good? Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you. So before you take your oath of office with the mayor, as you stand here receiving your badge, know that it represents more than just a symbol of authority. It's a symbol of trust. The trust that the public places in you to uphold the law, protect the vulnerable, and ensure that justice prevails. It's a reminder that every day you wear the badge, you are held to the highest standards of honor and responsibility. Being a police officer is a noble calling, but it's not without its challenges. You will face moments of difficulty, moments of doubt, and moments of triumph. Remember, you are never alone on this journey. Your fellow officers, mentors, and the community you serve will be there working alongside you to make a difference. Embrace your duty with courage, compassion, and integrity. Treat every individual with dignity and respect, no matter the circumstances. Always stay true to the values that brought you here today, being service, justice, and the unwavering commitment to protect and serve. This ceremony tonight signifies your commitment, but acknowledges the trust and expectations placed upon you. May you wear your badge with pride, and may you carry out your duties with wisdom, compassion, and honor. The people are counting on you. Be the change you wish to see in the world. Congratulations and welcome to the Lamar Police Department.
So I get the honor to have you read through these with me. Do that one for Commander Ritter.
That's He's already taken.
Okay, so for the swearing in, I'm just going to do them all at the same time, to speed up the process. So when it says state your name, you'll just, of course, mingle it all together, but we'll state your name. So we'll start off here. You'll raise your right hand, please. I state your name. Do solemnly swear to uphold the Constitution of the United States of America and the state of Colorado.
Do solemnly swear to uphold the Constitution of the United States of America and the state of Colorado.
I will faithfully and impartially enforce the laws of the state of Colorado and the ordinances of the city of Lamar.
I will faithfully and impartially enforce the laws of the state of Colorado and the ordinances of the state of Lamar.
And do further swear to discharge the duties of police officer for the city of Lamar, Colorado, to the best of my skill and ability.
And do further swear to discharge the duties of the police officer for the city of Lamar, Colorado, to the best of my skill and ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Okay. Get your signatures here for you. Okay, and then each one of you will also need to sign. So we'll start off with you. Well, if I do this correctly. All right. Next. I have one on the top first. You're officially sworn in. Congratulations.
All right, may I have a seat? The next portion will be the promotions that were taking place here at the Lamar Police Department. Can I have Sergeant Remy, Sergeant Peck, Commander Sherrill, and Commander Ritter step forward, please? So once again, when I came here back in July, one of my bullet points for leadership was to be transparent and have accountability to the city of Lamar. One of the ways I'm doing that is by enacting a command structure. When I arrived, we did not have any commanders of any kind. We had 4 sergeants along with myself. So we did not even have a supervisor on every shift, which I thought was, what's a good word here I want to use? Thank you. Challenging. That's very good. Since we're live on air. Challenging. We'll use challenging. Yes. But since that time, I've interviewed and recruited some really great talent for the city of Lamar. Promoting to sergeant is Sergeant Remy and Sergeant Peck, 2 outstanding officers who have the stats to back up everything in their lives. They're just fantastic officers. I wish I had 20 more of them. They're just great leaders, and they love the city of Lamar. And they've been here day in and day out without question. Sergeant Sherrill, now Commander Sherrill, is my commander of operations. He's going to be running the patrol division. And then we have Mr. Kevin Ritter, who's come from the district attorney's office as an investigator there, but is also reserved at the police department, has been promoted to commander of support services. He's going to handle our detective bureau, our professional services, internal investigations, so on and so forth. So he's going to be handling our investigative section. So I can't say enough about these four gentlemen here. They represent Lamar Police Department to the T. They're fantastic leaders, and they're the future of our organization. They're going to help me lead the day-to-day operations and take some of the burden off of my shoulders to know I can actually function on the entire police department rather than each individual area of the police department. So if we could have their family members come forward, who's going to be pinning them, please?
Okay.
You can draw blood on him.
It's your dad.
Oh, is it?
Now, having this command structure in place, we're going to have sergeants on every shift for transparency and accountability of my officers. We have command structure with the Commander Sherrill and Commander Ritter to assist me in the day-to-day operations and to handle any and all issues that may pop up. So Sergeant Peck, Sergeant Remy, Commander Sherrill, and Commander Ritter. Congratulations. Thank you.
And before you go, Chief, I just want to say on behalf of the council, we have appreciated, we have not been at all disappointed in the work that you've been doing. You've been making major strides in trying to secure and make our community safe. And we want to thank you as a council for the work that you're doing. And we want to continue to support you in every way that we can. So
Thank you very
great
much.
job on getting the staff filled and a wonderful job on what you're doing. So
Thank you very much.
Join me, Council.
Thank you.
Okay, with that said, we will continue on with our council meeting. The next item on the agenda is our consent agenda.
On the payment of bills there, Kurt, on the November bills, there's one that we'll have to remove to vote separately. That would be a check to Gonzalez Unlimited.
Okay.
Gonzalez Unlimited. That'd be in November bills.
Okay, do you have a check number for that?
To page 8, and let's see, page 8 of 72, 1001013. Is the payment number.
Sure enough, you're right. Okay. I do see that. So check number 101013 to Gonzalez Unlimited will be separated out for voting on separately. And that total, is that 8,285?
Yeah, 8,285.
Okay. So do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda with that item taken out?
No. So moved. I second it.
We're not approving them.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Do that.
I don't have it. We shouldn't be approving November bills. Should be December, second meeting in December.
Oh,
So I don't know.
What happened there?
I don't know. She may have gotten the wrong payment of bills.
we can figure this out here. All right, so we do have a motion and a second to approve the bills as submitted.
Okay.
Any further questions? Seeing none, all those in favor signify with an eye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Sorry.
Okay, we'll do the second. The next item on the agenda, or the next item would be to do the separate,
He's finished voting on that
okay, sorry. Me.
one. Unanimous in favor of?
All right.
The other one's-
Now, the next item will be manual, since we don't have that in the system. For Gonzalez Unlimited, check number 101013 for $8,285. Do we have a motion to approve that?
Second.
Who was the first? Got to speak up, Shayla. So the first was with Shayla, the second was with Jerry. All those in favor signify with an eye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
So is the December in there as well?
No,
Yes,
we approved that already last meeting, what you just did.
Okay,
well, we did.
so we also have the December in here as, or
December and January, yeah.
Yes, in here as well, right? They're mixed
I don't know, I
together.
hope so.
It is, it's
The
December,
check was written on the 18th of December.
Okay.
So we haven't approved those.
So then we're fine right there.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, great.
I didn't see anything for the last payment of bills.
So we should be good then. All right. We can verify and just get back.
I
with
think
this
we're
on next
okay.
week.
I think we covered it, so I think we'll be all right.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is the public comment portion of this meeting. During this portion of the meeting, anyone may speak on any subject that does not appear on the agenda. Individual speakers are limited to 3 minutes each, and that is at the discretion of the council for the time. Is there anyone here tonight that would like to speak to the council on an item? Okay. If you'll state your name and address for the record.
My name is Colby Brubaker, 1610 South Main Street, Lamar.
Acacia Truitt, 810 South Fish Street, Lamar.
Okay.
And we're here on behalf of the Chamber of Commerce tonight, just to kind of give some updates to you guys as well as some appreciation as well.
So we wanted to thank all the city workers for helping with the Christmas lights and for the police department for helping us with the parade control for the Parade of Lights. It was very much appreciated.
Also, we wanted to, we've been speaking with Anne Marie about this as well, but we wanted to come tonight in person and cordially invite the Chamber of Commerce, or invite the City Council as well as the City of Lamar to our annual Chamber Banquet. The Chamber Banquet's going to be Friday, January 31st. Our social hour is going to start at 5 o'clock with the Chamber Banquet starting at 6. And this year it's going to be held at the Cow Palace in their ballroom upstairs. And then after the Chamber Banquet, some things that you guys can expect to see more towards the summertime, and in May, we're going to have our second annual Cinco de Mayo Festival. That's going to be on May 3rd on a Saturday. We also have Lamar Days. That's going to be happening in May as well on the 16th and 17th. And our Glow Golf tournament is going to be held here in town on June 7th as well. So we just wanted to make sure that we came and updated on you guys as far as like what to expect with the chamber going forward, as well as thank you to the city workers and the police department, and also offer an invitation to our banquet.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And I think Rob was going to be bringing that up in his meeting as well, so we can try to get a number for you.
Excellent.
So that
Thank you.
should work out good. It's good to know the dates as well, so that really is helpful for the Glow Golf and Lamar Days. Did anybody have questions for them, for the council? Okay. Is there anyone else who would like to speak to the council on an item that's not on the agenda? Okay, seeing none, we will move on to the next item, which is the city treasurer's report.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. I wanted to give you a quick grants update. You have in your packets the list that we are providing for you quarterly. Right now, we are working on $11.4 million worth of projects and that are being paid for by $9.9 million worth of grants. And so that's great news, and we're plugging along on all of that. We did get a denial on the Firehouse Subs grant that you allowed us to apply for SCBA's for the fire department. We did get denied on that. We'll probably go ahead and continue to apply for that one. They encouraged us to do that as soon as it opens back up. They just had a lot of applications and a lot of dollars requested. The audit dates, the 2024 audit dates on site audit has been set for March 31st through April 9th. I just wanted to give you a quick update on Tyler. We're going forward right now with the financial and utility billing modules. We've got 25 to 30 hours worth of meetings this week concerning the chart of accounts and 3 solid days of utility billing. So we're working through all of that. Moving forward, we hope to go live sometime between May and June with financial and go live shortly thereafter with utility billing. So, and then the other modules will follow. So it's up and running in a fast pace. So, but that was all I had for this evening, unless you have questions for me.
I don't have any, thank you.
Welcome.
Nothing so far? Anybody? I think it's great that you're working on that many grants. That's a lot of extra funding to the city of Lamar because of your work. So thank you.
And thank you for the grant manager that you allowed me to hire. She's doing a fantastic job and don't know how I ever did it without her. So.
Great. Okay, moving on to the city clerk's report. Linda?
So the November sales and use tax collected in December was $430,490.14, which was up 9.84%, or $38,563.40 from 2023. Our year-to-date collections were $5,475,733.60, which is up 5.80%, or $300,334.26 from 2023. And that is all I have for this evening, unless you have any questions.
I don't have any questions. Do you have, counsel?
I don't.
Good job, Linda.
Okay, thank you. Goes to the next item, which is the city administrator's report.
All right. Well, I already got a lot of good vibes and feelings today with having the police out there today. And I just want you to know that talking to other city managers, we've already building a good reputation about how we're handling the police here in the city. So I wanted to say it's working. We're giving them the tools. It's working out there. So next, we mentioned the Lamar Chamber of Commerce. The annual banquet is on the 31st at the Palace Inn. Social hour starts at 5 p.m. and the banquet starts at 6. And I was going to I know that we've hit them up 2 or 3 times today, and I want to see if we have any more confirmed attendees.
My wife and I will be there.
So 2, 4,
And
6.
I'm my wife, Rob.
Okay,
Shayla will be 8.
9.
I'm gonna try this. Try this as
10.
yes.
Okay.
And then Manuel, I don't know if you've talked to Manuel or not.
No, but I will. Okay.
Okay, so you should have close to the full amount. Okay.
The Snow Goose Festival, Saturday, February 8th, 7 p.m., Lamar High School Auditorium. $15 per person and $25 for a couple. Children under 12 are free. Some of the projects in the city, the library are going to be putting some fun benches at the Storybook Walk. So they're looking around for them, what kind they want to put up there. But, you know, it's a side improvement of the Storybook Walk. I don't know if you've been out there, but the kids love it. It's really neat. They started their creative writing contest, and there's rules on the website. So you guys have a talent that you haven't shown, you know, get on there and submit some stories. We mentioned Tyler. IT is everything Tyler right now, installing Tyler hardware. They are also working on a new SAN and the refurbishment of the old servers once they're done. Public Works, streets, they're crack sealing out at the airport. So after they did the big project out there, now they're working on the crosswind and doing some crack sealing all around. So it looks good out there. The water department is doing their valve maintenance. They got a new trailer that they're doing a lot of work out there and doing that maintenance that you had mentioned before about every 3 years or so where we're trying to clean things out and do at least, we've gone and put hands on in just every area in the city.
Okay.
Community development. We heard a little earlier that for the first time in a long time, we've got full manning on our community, or with the police. Our community development is fully manned right now. We have our new marketing coordinator, Courtney Riccio, and we've got our Main Street and events planner, Brenda May and Anne Marie. So I wanted to say that we're getting full up all through the board and getting healthy everywhere.
Great.
So anything else that you guys would like to know about?
Council?
We're going to have some updates later about some things in there, but I wanted to say that we're ready. We've got all of our equipment for the dog parks and things like that. And once the turf and everything is going to happen in the springtime. So we've got a lot of projects throughout the city that are ready to take off once the bad weather gets through.
Is
Just-
that,
I'm sorry, Jerry, go ahead.
how big is that dog park going to be? It looks pretty small.
It is pretty small right now and can be expanded, but we've got places for small dogs and for big dogs. So I don't know if you're seeing just one of them or not.
And I was just looking at the poles and I'm like, this is small,
Mhm.
but I just didn't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
On the archery
Uh-huh.
range, any ideas when
We're
that may
still,
be
it's,
finished or completed or even started?
well, they can't actually start until we get the land re-designated as industrial. It has to do with what it was used with before. So I think everything is okay. We've been talking to them here just lately that all it is sending the right paperwork out, getting back in. It should happen in the next couple of weeks. We had our JVA write the justification letter that they were needing to allow us to redesignate it as industrial. And that way we don't have to revegetate that area that we're going to be putting on. And so we're ready to go. I know they're ready to go. Everybody's ready to go on this one.
It's wonderful news. Thank
Yep,
you.
yep.
That's all I have.
Targets are in.
Mhm.
Oh, wonderful.
So as soon as they do close the pit,
Start moving forward.
So the target, the equipment is in. Okay. Good. Good to
and
know.
we're continuing to work with CPW on that. They'll be the lead getting the targets.
Okay. Now, one question I was asked this week is, does CPW notify the city or let us know when they stock the lakes in the springtime or throughout the year? Because I had some individuals asking how often and how frequent, and
You have some people that need to get.
They want to catch some
the
fish, I
really,
guess.
really quick.
well, no, they were just asking about that, what kind of, if the city announces that information.
We don't normally put it out that, hey, they're stocking it again today or something like that, but they usually come and tell us that they're on their way and they're going to do it, either today or
Sometime that week or
Mhm.
something. Okay. So does the Parks and Rec usually just let people know, if that's the case, or
We
I
can
just,
we can certainly do it. We have not put that up there as, because they tell us that day they were coming out there, we're going to put some
Right,
fish out
right.
there.
okay.
So, we can say afterwards it was stocked last week or something.
Yeah,
like that.
that's what I meant. If they would do that, that
We
would
can
be
do
good. So within the week or two or something, just to recently the fish were.
Mhm.
So that way the community would know when they've just been stocked, because a lot of people will go out there at those times.
Right. I've seen them walking away with big strings of fish, walking
Yeah,
down the road.
You'll
most
know
of the
why.
time, so.
I do have one thing to say. It's nice. A friend of mine went to Texas for a funeral this weekend, and she said she knows they never get snow, but they did here recently. And she said she really appreciates Lamar Streets and Rec Department for all the hard work they do to keep the streets clean and the cemeteries when they go for funerals.
Thank you. I'll let them know.
Thank you.
All right, if there's no other questions, we'll move on to reports and correspondence from the council. We'll start with Joe.
Planning and zoning hasn't had a meeting yet, and the tree board meets tomorrow. So right now I have nothing to bring back to city council.
Shayla?
All right, the airport board will be meeting on Wednesday this week.
Public Safety Board will be meeting the third Thursday, but we are going to need 2 people altogether, Rob, to join our,
Two more
Committee,
public safety
yeah.
boards.
one of the gals moved. So
Okay. Okay, David?
No, nothing at the moment.
Brent?
LPI is now meeting on the first Monday of the month instead of the fourth Monday of the month. And so we had our meeting last Monday, and it was a lot of preparation for our annual meeting coming up next month. We do have a new board member, Debbie May. Is that? Deb Davis, thank you. And we have another potential board member I think we're waiting to hear back from, as well as a couple more applications in to get our board completely filled up. And a lot of big projects on the horizon.
Great.
And then PEP doesn't meet until third Monday of the month, so.
Okay. So next meeting, we should have a lot of reports. Okay, as far as Rob and I met with Karen Bryant at PMC today, everything seems to be going well there. They are doing quite well with the OBGYN department. So I think that's going, or the OB department, that seems to be going really well. Doing some improvements with the new CT scanner, which is a higher speed CT scan that we're working on, and a few other improvements. So that seems to be going well. I did have a mayor summit for the Colorado Municipal League that was coming up next week. However, I do have 2 audits at the bank coming up, so I am going to skip it this year. But I'm sure I'll get some reports from my cohorts from the other communities as well. Aside from that, I don't have anything else for reports on my end. So we will move on to the next item on the agenda, which is the second reading of the ordinance rezoning the property known as lots 6, 7, 8, and lots 13, 14, 15 of Langston Heights subdivision. This, as an ordinance, does need to be read out loud. So I'm going to go through and read this very quickly, or as quickly as I possibly can, so that we can get this taken care of. Are you okay with that?
Absolutely.
Okay. So ordinance number 1276, an ordinance rezoning the property known as lots 6, 7, and 8 and lots 13, 14, 15, Langston Heights subdivision, a subdivision of the city of Lamar, Colorado, according to the recorded plat thereof, County of Prowers, State of Colorado, also known as 1904, 1906, 1908 South 8th Street, 1903, 1905, 1907 South 9th Street. Whereas proper application was made to the Planning and Zoning Commission of the City of Lamar, Colorado for the rezoning of R1 zone to an R3 zone. Whereas the Planning and Zoning Commission of the City of Lamar, Colorado has considered the proposed rezoning of the property known as lots 6, 7, and 8 and lots 13, 14, 15 Langston Heights subdivision, a subdivision of the City of Lamar according to the recorded plat thereof. County of Prowers, State of Colorado, also known as 1904, 1906, and 1908 South 8th Street, 1903, 1905, and 1907 South 9th Street. Whereas a public hearing was held before the Planning and Zoning Commission on December the 3rd, 2024, and whereas the Planning and Zoning Commission had recommended to the City Council that the property be rezoned from R1 zone to the R3 zone. Now, therefore, be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Lamar, Colorado, number 1, that the portion of the subdivision described as lots 6, 7, and 8 and lots 13, 14, 15 Langston Heights subdivision, a subdivision of the City of Lamar according to the recorded plat thereof, County of Prowers, State of Colorado, also known as 1904, 1906, and 1908 South 8th Street, 1903, 1905, and 1907 South 9th Street. Planning and Zoning met December the 3rd, 2024 to discuss the proposed rezoning of the property known as lots 6, 7, and 8 and lots 13, 14, 15 Langston Heights subdivision, a subdivision of the City of Lamar according to the recorded plat thereof, County of Prowers, State of Colorado, also known as 1904, 1906, and 1908 South 8th Street, 1903, 1905, and 1907 South 9th Street. Optimus Construction is the property owner and is requesting the zoning change for the development of the land into future homes. Number 2, that the city clerk and designated city employees are hereby instructed to make all necessary changes to the official map of the City of Lamar reflecting the zoning change. Introduced, read in full, passed on the first reading and order published on the last meeting, right? That's where we passed it. So we would just need to get it passed on the second reading tonight. Did I get that all? Okay. So the ordinance has been read on the second reading now, publicly. Now we would just need a motion to approve or deny.
I make a motion adjusting the line passed on second reading in order to publish this blank day of blank to 2025 instead of 2024.
Okay.
I'll second it.
So I have a motion and a second with the corrections as stated. Any final questions? Seeing none, all those in favor signify with an eye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Thank you.
Shayla, David?
Brent,
Oh, I did.
unanimous in favor of?
Okay. All right, motion passed. The ordinance is now in place. Next item on the agenda, we skipped agenda item number 1, which is the oath of officers and officer promotion because we moved that earlier. So we'll move on to the public hearing for the new retail liquor license for UPOP Holdings LLC, doing business as JR's Bottle Shop. To do this, of course, we would need to move into a public hearing. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to move into the public hearing. All those in favor signify with an eye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
Okay, we are now into the public hearing. So we'll start off with the staff presentation. City Clerk?
So on our December 9th, 2024 council meeting, I requested to set a public hearing for tonight, January 13th, 2025. It was posted in the newspaper and on site by January 3rd, 2025, as well as on our website. And they have supplied all the information that was required.
Okay. All right. The city attorney, have you reviewed this?
I don't see any issues with it.
Okay. And then police chief, have you investigated it? Do you see any issues at all? Okay. Do we have the applicant here tonight?
Yes, sir.
Would you like to discuss your plans and just kind of present that to the council as what you're?
Sure. We've, as you know, we used to operate the Hickory House out of that location. We unfortunately just weren't able to maintain the restaurant anymore. Cost of labor, cost of goods, competition in Lamar just kind of became a little bit too much for us, unfortunately. We have since pivoted and wanted to reuse the space as a liquor store. We kind of looked around the area. All the liquor stores that are in town are on the southern side of the city. We felt like with the hotels and all that stuff, we could kind of fit a niche with a liquor store on that side and offer something that's not on that north side of town. And we are just hoping that we can operate the business that way.
One thing I forgot to do is I forgot to ask your name and address for the public record.
Yes, my name is Joshua Torgler. I live at 315 Arkansas in Ordway, Colorado.
Okay. And your position?
I am the director of marketing.
Okay. All right. All right. Do we have any questions or anything for clarification for the council?
We don't have any questions.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
All right. At this time, I will open the floor. We'll start with opening the floor for anyone that is in favor of this application. Is there anyone that would like to speak in favor of this application? Okay. Seeing none, is there anyone that would like to speak in opposition of this application?
Good evening, I'm Galen Burnett, 800 South 6th Street, Lamar, Colorado. Joshua may be in for a little bit of a problem. Across our nation, I read this last week that all kinds of liquor, all different categories of liquor has been going down. The sales has been going down. The consumption's been going down 3 to 8%. So they may have a little harder bit of time. But what I want to speak to you about tonight is what came out this last week from the U.S. Surgeon General, Vivek Murthy. The majority of Americans are unaware of this risk, he says. He issued an advisory of alcohol consumption that leads to a risk of increasing developing cancers, and he calls for an updated warning device, warning label on alcoholic drinks. He says alcohol is a well-established preventable cause of cancer, responsible for about 100,000 cases of cancer and 20,000 cancer deaths annually here in the United States. That's greater than the 13,500 alcohol-associated traffic crashes, fatalities each year. Yet the majority of Americans are unaware of the risk. According to the U.S. Surgeon General's office, alcohol is the third leading preventable cause of cancer in the United States after tobacco and obesity. But while, like we said earlier, most Americans are not aware of this risk. We need to be taking steps to increase awareness of alcohol's cancer risk and minimize harm. The direct link between alcohol consumption and cancer risk is well established for at least 7 kinds and types of cancer. He has said that the risk can occur regardless of the level of alcohol or the type of alcohol consumed, including beer, wine, and spirits. Beverages can cause cancers of the mouth, throat, esophagus, and voice box. In September of 24, a report issued by the American Association for Cancer Research said that 5.4% of all cancer cases are linked to alcohol consumption. The WHO, the World Health Organization, says in 2022 that no level of alcohol is safe for one's health, noting it is toxic, psychoactive, and dependency-producing substance, listed as a carcinogen, meaning it causes cancer. This is your opportunity to follow the U.S. Surgeon General's and not allow this to be done, not approve this. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Is there anyone else that would like to speak in opposition to this application? Okay, seeing none, I will close the floor for discussion. Now we will open it up for any questions or clarification before we close this public hearing. Do you need any clarification before we close? Any questions for any of the speakers?
I don't have any.
Okay, seeing none, do we have a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second to close the public hearing. All those in favor signify with an eye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
Okay, the hearing is now closed. It gives us a time to go through and review this and have any discussion. Of course, part of this is we need to make a decision on this for the council action. Did you have any questions or concerns? Do you want to discuss?
I don't have any, Kurt.
I think the most important thing that we got to remember, and it makes it a challenge, despite our personal preferences and our personal opinions, at times when we get these applications brought into us as a council, we have to go by was everything filed properly? Was it all done correctly? Was everything, submitted? It's very hard for us to make these decisions based upon our personal opinion without having it seem like we're having preferences or any personal preference. But I understand that, your concerns that you've brought up. And I just wanted to point that out, that it's always a challenge for the council because we have to find that way to be neutral with these decisions. And I really miss Hickory House myself. So I guess that's where I'm getting at.
I didn't either.
Yeah, so. Anyhow, with that said, do we have a motion to make a decision on this application?
I move to approve the application.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the application. Any final questions? Seeing none, all those in favor signify with an eye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
Okay, next item on the agenda is a public hearing for the new hotel restaurant liquor license for Melissa Fallon, doing business as A&M Breakfast House. We would just need to move into a public hearing for this one as well. Do we have a motion?
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second to enter into the public hearing. All those in favor signify with an eye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
Okay, now we are in the public hearing. We'll start off with the city clerk's presentation.
Melissa Vaughn submitted her application on November 22nd, and again, the final required paperwork on December 4th. At the December 13th meeting, or excuse me, December 9th meeting, I requested to have a public hearing scheduled for January 13th. It was posted on site and in the paper, as well as our website, on January 3rd. Other than that, they've completed everything else.
Have you reviewed this, Lance?
I didn't see any issues with the
Okay. Chief?
Yeah.
No concerns, okay? All right, so we will move on to the applicant's presentation. Is the applicant here tonight? Do you want to speak on what your plans are? Sorry to put you on the spot.
I don't know why I get nervous if I talk to you guys all the time.
You just state your name for the record and address.
Melissa Fallon, 410 South Main.
Okay,
We just want to, my husband and I want to say thank you guys for supporting our business and, you know, helping us with everything that you guys do. You know, we appreciate our community for coming through, you know, and they come in and they're happy, you know, and I'm grateful for that, you know, so. Do you guys have any questions for me?
so this is just the restaurant license for alcohol, serving alcohol, right?
Yes.
So it's not really a bar type of, it's just more of a,
We're gonna plan to do like mimosas for breakfast, and then with our AM pasta, we're gonna be serving wine
Okay.
with that, so.
just thought I'd get clarification. All right, any questions from the council? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So at this time, since we've had that opportunity, I'll open the floor up for discussion. We'll start off with anyone that may be in favor of this application that would like to speak to the council. Anyone here that would like to speak in favor of? Okay. Do we have anyone that would like to speak opposed? Okay.
Good evening, council. I'm Galen Burnett, 800 South 6th Street, Lamar, Colorado. I appreciate Kirk mentioning some of the guidelines that you have to follow. I know the Colorado State Handbook, Alcohol or Liquor Handbook. I've looked over that and seen many of the things. I want to remind you that there are opportunities within that to not approve. Years ago, many years ago, the council at one time thought they had to approve any application that came. And we showed that you don't. There are guidelines. So I'm going to try to nudge you just a little bit.
That's okay.
Alcohol is one of the leading causes of preventable deaths in the United States every year. More people die of alcohol-related causes than drug overdoses. But the problems with alcohol often go overlooked. Alcohol is problematic elsewhere, but Colorado has one of the highest rates of alcohol-related deaths in the whole country. Drinking deaths in the state spiked 60% between 2018 and 2021. In 2022, more than 1,500 people in the state died from excessive drinking, a slight decline from earlier, but is still 50% above pre-pandemic levels. When we take into account the deaths from chronic long-term conditions related to alcohol, the death toll doubles, a number that far exceeds the deaths from opiates. Many times alcohol is the quiet killer. We're so used to it, we don't notice it, we don't pay attention to it. It hasn't generated the attention that it should. I'd like for us to realize that sometimes alcohol usage can result in quick things like dying from a car crash or something like that. But it's also long-term conditions, liver disease, cancers, heart conditions, suicide. One of the toughest things I was involved with was when a young man who went out and got drunk and was on CU campus came home in the fraternity that my son was in and shot himself there because of alcohol that he was doing, and he saw it. Alcohol distorts you, it changes you, it hurts bad things. So I'd like to nudge you to consider taking this opportunity to not grant this liquor license. The cafe will do a great job without liquor. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay. Anybody else who would like to speak in opposition of this application? Seeing none, I will close the floor for comments, and we'll open it up for any questions or clarifications from the council. Anybody?
I have a concern. We heard it tonight as Melissa Flan was up there at the podium speaking, that her and her husband own the restaurant together. But on paper here, his name is nowhere on the application. And it doesn't state that it doesn't need to be based upon there not being an LLC or any other type. But the concern is that he is more than 50% ownership of the business, and he is gaining from that, and his name is not on the application for the alcohol. That's my only concern. Because when we ran into that issue with Lamar, once again, Mr. Carter, when they filled out their application, he had some concerns that he was 45%, I believe, said shares, and we had to go back with him and table it until they got it all corrected to approve their application.
And this is a doing business as, or DBA, so it's not a LLC or
Correct.
a corporation.
So that's why
so-
there's no findings, but that was my only concern.
Yeah, so we'd be
It's
stuck
filed as an
based,
individual.
right, so we'd be stuck based on the application.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just my only concern.
Okay. I was gonna ask what the state requirement was for distance between the liquor license location and a school district. 500 feet, and this one is 708, so.
708.
Okay, just wanted to make sure that we had that out there, that it is well beyond that limit. Are there any other questions or concerns that anybody want to bring up?
Other than that, I don't have nothing else.
Okay. Seeing that said, with the questions and concerns, we were going to go ahead and close the public hearing at this time. Can I get a motion to close the public hearing?
So moved. Second.
We have a motion with Jerry, a second with Shayla to adjourn the public hearing. All those in favor signify with an eye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
Okay, we'll open it up for discussion with the council. Of course, we had an opportunity to hear everything. I did have a concern just making sure that we wanted to, that we verified that it was the right distance from the school, but that was already addressed, so that's not an issue at all. Any other concerns we need to discuss before you make a motion?
I don't have anything else.
And Joe had mentioned his as well. With that said, do we have a motion?
So moved. Second.
So we have a motion with Jerry Jenkins and a second with Shayla Mata. That was to approve the application, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. A motion and a second. Any final questions? Seeing none, all those in favor signify with an eye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
So we have a split vote. We have council members Bates, Jenkins, Mata, Zavala, and Mayor Crespin voting yes, and Councilmember Gonzalez voting no.
Okay. Motion passes. And we will move on to the next item on the agenda. Next item we have will be to approve staff to apply for the Colorado Pet Overpopulation Fund grant. This is initiated by Chief Fear, Tess Camp, and Christian Schwartz. Which one of you would like to speak on that? I guess Tess.
So this is the annual grant that the animal shelter gets. This grant takes care of the spay and neuter of all animals. They don't leave the shelter without that operation. Takes care of necessary veterinary bills and also microchipping. It pays for the microchip and the registration. We want to apply for $11,000 and this grant has no match.
Okay.
Go over to the Lamar Animal Place over by Big R.
Mhm.
To have them shipped. Are they doing that here at the dog shelter? Or are
I'm
they
not-
still going over there?
I'm not positive where it's
That way
being
the
done.
public would know where to go.
I believe the shelter has bought their own
Once they-
microchips,
yeah, once
but
they-
I believe that the vet is doing it for them, but I'm not positive.
So once they adopt them, they'll give the instructions in the packet where.
Yeah, because that's how they did it for us.
Yeah.
I didn't know that the police department was doing it over there at the shelter.
No, I believe we're just giving the people the microchip and then they're taking it with them to the vet. And the
Okay.
vet actually does the, however they put it into the dog.
All their information, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? Seeing none, do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify with an eye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is to approve staff to apply for firefighter safety and disease prevention grant. This is also initiated by Chief Burkhart, Christian Schwartz, and Tess Camp. Tess?
The local firefighter safety and disease prevention grant provides funding for reimbursement for equipment and training designed to increase firefighter safety and prevention occupation-related diseases. So the need was brought to us that they need a new washer for their gear because the one right now isn't operating very well. The one that I was showed, it comes in right under the max for the grant at around $19,600, including shipping and installation, and this grant has no match.
Okay. And you're just looking for approval to apply for it.
Yes.
Okay, council?
Make a motion to allow the staff to apply for the disease prevention grant.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify with an eye.
Aye.
Those same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tess.
Next item, award bid 44-014 for the annual materials bid. It's initiated by Kristen.
Yes, Pat and his staff put together the information for me, and we send this out on an annual basis. We request bids for the materials used for streets. And this year, we got no bid on concrete or asphalt, but we did get a bid from Brandon Aggregates on the materials to be used. So tonight, we're asking to award the bid for the materials to Brandon Aggregates. And then Pat and Rob, I think, are both working through the issue of not receiving a bid on concrete and asphalt. So they're reaching out to the vendors here in the area and seeing what we can work out on that. And we can report back on that at a later time.
Okay. All right, council. And this isn't really a contract, this is just, we're
Just
doing
awarding the
this.
bid, yep. And then we hold them to the bid price as materials are needed.
I move to award the bid to Brandon Aggregates.
Okay.
So a motion with Shayla, a second with Brent. All those in favor signify with an eye.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
Okay. Next item on the agenda is award bid 44-015 for the annual Main Street Flowers contract.
So we solicited proposals for the annual planting, purchasing, planting, and maintaining the flowers. Bid packets were mailed out, and the request for proposal was advertised in the local paper on December 6th. We received one proposal back, and it was accepted by the deputy treasurer by 5 o'clock on December 17th. We held the bid opening on December 18th, and it was acknowledged and accepted. We visited with the staff that oversees this at Anthony's department, and everyone recommended that we go ahead and award the bid to the home store for the annual flowers.
How does that price compare to last year? I don't remember.
I think it's very similar to what they charged us last year.
Seems close, very close, yeah.
Yeah,
I don't have that in
remember
front of me,
offhand,
but
so.
Yes,
It
the
was
number from last year was 16, a little over 16,000, and this year it's $17,648.
It's about 14 or 1,100 more or something.
Correct.
we've had lots of compliments. They did step up their game, and the pots looked good, and so I feel comfortable allowing them.
Is there a conversation had about perennials? We bring it up every single year.
Yes,
Trying to stick with the majority perennials that way hopefully in the future, we're not having to replant all of them.
yes.
Okay.
And I know one of the other items we've talked about is our flower pots getting broken continually and finding an alternative for that. So we'll continue to research that.
I've got a question if you don't mind. Anthony. The one that got broke here just not too long ago, was that one being able to get replaced?
Yes,
That was wonderful. It was a big pot. It was sad to see that one get smashed. I think that was over there on the courthouse property.
That was by the Max.
Bud Max?
Corner of Max.
Okay, yeah.
Or all of them.
Yeah, I knew it was right around there in that area somewhere. It's like, oh man, somebody broke that thing.
And we received a grant last year through SECD to purchase some backups, and keep a stock. And I think that that's fully getting completed, is it?
correct.
I don't know what the number is left, but we'll continue to try to find funding to
I
replace
mean, they're
those as
nice
well.
out there. They look
Yeah.
great.
Now, this is it has it on here as an annual bid, but is this just for the season or is this for the full year,
I
year to
think
year?
we go from, I can't remember what the
May to
contract is.
October, I
It's-
believe it is.
May to October? Because I noticed that somebody was putting in like some pine type during the winter months, so I didn't know if that was part of.
No, I think that's some of Anne Marie's. group.
No, there was a few volunteers who just did it.
Okay,
They just did it to be kind.
okay, okay.
I have one more question. They will, I'm assuming that it'll be the same contract like it has in the previous years where they've got to have their own insurance and their own truck and so forth like that to
Yes, and if we
take
could,
care of those, or is that something different? they're
no,
fixing there?
that's the same thing. And if
The
we
same
could
thing?
add that to the motion, that to go ahead and allow the mayor to sign it once it's approved by the attorney and Anthony.
Okay.
If we could add that to the motion. And then, back to your question, we try to do this early in the year on the awarding of the bid, because sometimes they can get their bids in on their flowers to purchase early, and then they know early what they have to do from the greenhouses that they purchase from.
Okay.
So that we were asked to do it earlier than waiting till closer to May to award that bid, just so that they could go ahead and get things done.
Okay. You might ask them to see, because I know I had been asked that a few times as far as would it be possible to do an annual bid where they just take care of it for the full year rather than just May to October and then let them die throughout the winter. I don't know if that would help with the perennial side or not. I don't know, but I guess that would be something to ask the
But
professionals.
we can, all we'd have
about.
to do is change the contract.
Right.
We award it for the year,
Right,
but they usually don't plant them till
During
planting
that
season,
time.
April,
yeah,
and then they freeze and die. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
there
unless you
isn't
have
really
the evergreens or
anything,
something.
yeah, to do other than
Well,
that. So
even evergreens in pot have difficulty, they freeze because they're not insulated and they're not down.
Not in the ground, yeah.
So what's in the pots now? It looks like a tumbleweed.
yeah, I don't know.
And the reason I ask that is because when I come off Oak and to turn on to Main, whatever, I have to really kind of get up front so I can see, because that's.
Well,
like,
the
blocks
Parks
the
and
view.
Rec staff cleans those pots out.
Okay.
So maybe they just haven't gotten to all of them.
There's one right there.
I don't.
What was
I don't
that?
know.
So the community volunteers cleaned them out in November, during a community cleanup in late November. She asked us, Shar Rivera had asked us to leave the grasses in. That's what you're saying. So
The grasses. Okay.
Keeps some of the.
not all pots have
Neighborhood.
grasses.
Okay. All right, sounds good. Any other questions before we take a,
I don't have any.
okay, do we have a motion?
Move to approve the bid for Home Store
And
Could you add to
and to
also,
add
yes, sir, to have the mayor sign the
the mayor
contract?
signing after the attorney and Anthony can review the contract.
I'll
Okay.
second.
we have a motion and a second. Any final questions? Seeing none, all those in favor signify with an eye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
Okay. Next item on the agenda is the award bid 44-016 for the annual T-shirt bid.
So again, we mailed packets and it was advertised in the local paper on December 6th. 2 proposals were received and accepted by the deputy treasurer by 5 PM on December 17th. The bid opening was held on December 18th and the bids were acknowledged and accepted. We sent the bids over to Tendon and Anthony and Kendra to review, and staff agreed that it should go to the low bidder, which was Printed Imagination. They also had the bid for 2024 and did a good job. As far as I know, Tendon said that they were pleased with it. And we also include in that the rest of the city, if they're going to order any T-shirts for functions. We included it in that bid as well. So Printed Imagination is the vendor for the year for all those types of needs. So we're just asking to have council award the bid to Printed Imagination.
Okay. Any questions from the council?
I don't have any. I make a motion to award the bid to Printed Imaginations.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any final questions? Seeing none, all those in favor signify with an eye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
Okay. Agenda item number 8 would be award bid 44-017 for annual fertilizer bid. Kristen and
So we gathered the information from Kendra and Anthony on the specs of the bid. They were mailed out, the packets were mailed out. And the request for proposal was advertised in the local paper on December 6th. Two proposals were received and accepted by the deputy treasurer by 5 PM on December 17th. We held the bid opening on the morning of December 18th, and both bids were acknowledged and accepted. Anthony and Kendra also reviewed the information and were good with going with a low bidder, which was Home Store. They were significantly lower. So we're just asking to award the annual fertilizer bid to the Home Store.
and this has the weed and feed with it or the pre-emergence?
Yes, it does.
Yes, of course.
And I also wanted to add, based off of some of the information we've received from our consultant Larry on the 3 areas, Escondido, McCorkles, and Riverside, those numbers may increase depending on what we need to add onto the turf.
I mean, as far as the volume of it,
Correct.
and they'll maintain the price on both of those.
Yes,
The winner, okay. So if we had to increase, they're not gonna double it.
Right.
Correct.
Okay, any questions from the council?
I don't have any.
All right, with no questions, do we have a motion?
I move that we give the bid to Home Store. Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any other questions? Seeing none, all those in favor signify with an eye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ed.
Next item on the agenda is the award bid for 44-018 for the traffic study. This is initiated by Christian Schwartz. We've talked about this for a few months.
I'm going to ask if it would be okay with council to table this one, based on some new information that I received tonight. We'd like to do some more research on this one. So I'm asking to table it at this time, and I'll bring it back when we have an answer.
Rob, Anne Marie, and I had a meeting with CDOT representative was it Friday or Monday? It was recently, within the last couple of days. Anyways, we had a meeting and she had mentioned and expressed that there were a lot of resources out there, not only funding wise, but also with additional resources of companies that do this and specialize in it for rural areas. So I had asked if we could, possibly table this to at least give enough time to gather information from her first and make sure that we're not just jumping into this without considering all the alternatives. So if the council's okay with postponing it for a little longer, I agree with Kristen that we should probably table this for a little bit. We okay? Yep. So we would need to do a motion to table.
I move to table.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to table it. All those in favor signify with an eye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
Okay. Next item on the agenda is an appointment to the Water Advisory Board with Pat Mason that brought this in. Brad Young resigned from his position at the Water Board effective June 13th, which left one unexpired 5-year term. Rob?
Yep. Mr. Young resigned so he could move off the Pueblo, I believe. And we had one young man, Mr. Atkins, apply. And I saw him at the last meeting. He seemed to be interested in getting to learn more about the Lamar and the water. He works over there at Culligan. So he's got an interest in water. So anyway, they all recommended that he get it, and they all seemed, happy with his application. So
Good to get a young person in there. Yep.
Mhm.
Okay. Council?
I have no questions.
I move that they accept Elijah Atkins' application for the water.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to accept his application. All those in favor signify with an eye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
Okay, moving right along. I was approached by the sales agent for the public safety building. We approved that contract. We are under contract and have a date for the closing. However, the seller is experiencing a delay with the environmental study for the phase 1 environmental study. They're anticipating having that within the next week. However, due to this little bit of delay, we do need to extend or change the dates of the closing. So I had recommended that we just move the date to the first of the month for the closing and extend it and give them plenty of time to do this. So far, we haven't ran into any other issues. It's just we need to wait for this report to come back for us to ensure that we've done our due diligence on it. So tonight, I'm asking if we can approve this extension request for the contract and give them a little bit more time to complete that phase 1.
I'll make a motion to approve the extension on the contract.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any other questions? Seeing none, all those in favor signify with an eye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is designation of places for posting notice of meetings to the Lamar City Council. This is initiated by the city administrator. Rob?
It's an open meetings requirement to redo this every year.
So it's more of a housekeeping
Yes,
thing.
it's housekeeping.
Were there any changes on this?
Nope.
I didn't see any changes. Okay, so we just need to approve this designation. Unless you wanted to add something else onto there.
I move to approve.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor signify with an eye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of.
Okay. Designation of representative to the county health pool. Each year, the county health pool requests that members of the pool designate an individual as their official representative to attend all county health pool meetings and to send monthly invoices and general correspondence to. Rob?
Again, this is the person that we've had do it for us in the past, and we recommend, or I recommend that Mrs. Saldana be appointed to do this.
And as the HR director, that's pretty much the right person, so
Sir?
just need to get this approved.
So moved. Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify with an eye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is an ordinance to the city of Lamar, Colorado, concerning the keeping of beehives within the city limits. And this is preliminary. We're not reading it on the first reading or anything tonight, or
Yeah.
unless we choose to, or
Yeah.
are we?
We would be reading it if we choose to, yes.
Okay.
Gotta
Just
read it.
double checking. So I'll turn it over to you.
So the background on this, we have had requests to allow beekeeping in the city limits. There are a couple places that currently do have it, so we kind of want to get ahead of this and make sure that we have regulations in place for this to occur. So with that, we had come up with this ordinance. It would be ordinance number 1277, and I'll go ahead and read it if that's okay.
Okay.
An ordinance adding to chapter 4, a new article 7, section 4-132 to the city of Lamar Municipal Code concerning the keeping of beehives within the city limits. Whereas Colorado Revised Statute, section 31-15-401 grants general police powers to the city council to promulgate ordinances for the health, safety, and welfare of the public. And whereas the city of Lamar is located in a rural county that supports agriculture, and whereas the city council of the city of Lamar wishes to promote such agricultural activities by allowing beekeeping in residential, open estate, and agricultural areas of the city of Lamar to promote environmental well-being. And whereas the city council has further determined that it is in the best interest of the health, safety, and welfare of the inhabitants of the city to exercise its express authority to implement regulation and placement of beekeeping and beehives to ensure the minimal amount of impact on surrounding property owners. Now therefore be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Lamar, Colorado, Part 1, the Lamar Municipal Code, Chapter 4 is hereby amended by the addition of the new Article 7, Section 4-132, which reads as follows. Article 7, Beekeeping, Section 4-132, Beehives and Beekeeping. A, definitions. The following words, terms, and phrases when used in this section shall have meanings ascribed to them in this section. 1, apiary shall mean a place where the bee colonies are kept. 2, bee shall mean any stage of the common domestic honeybee. I'm sorry, I don't do Latin. Apis mellifera species. Number 3, colony shall mean a hive and its equipment and appurtenances, including bees, comb, honey, pollen, and brood. 4, hive shall mean a structure intended for the housing of a bee colony. 5, tract shall mean a continuous parcel of land under common ownership. B, zoning. The keeping of bees is allowed as a special exemption use in the zone districts identified in Chapter 330 of this code as R1, R2, and R3, and a use by right in zone districts A1, EA, and OE of zoning code. C, permitting any person seeking to keep bee colonies shall obtain special exemption use permit and pay an initial annual fee imposed by the city for the keeping of bees in the amount of $25 with a $25 consecutive year fee. The special exemption use for keeping bees shall not follow the procedures set forth in Chapter 30 of the Lamar Municipal Code for special exceptions in regard to holding a hearing before the Board of Adjustment Appeals and/or City Council. After on-site investigation of the premises, the city animal control personnel may issue the special exemption permit to keep bees in compliance with this code section. D, renters of property. Persons occupying rental property must present the written permission of the landlord to obtain a permit to keep bees under this code. E, hives. All bee colonies shall be kept in hives with removable combs, which shall be kept in sound and usable condition. F, setbacks. All hives shall be located in a rear setback only and at least 10 feet from any adjoining property, with the back of the hive facing the nearest adjoining property. Hives are prohibited in front and side yards. G, fencing of flyways. In each instance in which any colony is situated within 25 feet of a property line of a developed public or private tract and is measured from the nearest point on the hive to the property line, the beekeeper shall establish and maintain a flyway barrier at least 6 feet in height, consisting of a hedge, solid wall, or fence parallel to the property line and extending 10 feet beyond the colony in each direction, so that all bees are forced to fly in an elevation of at least 6 feet above ground or over the property lines in the vicinity of the apiary. H, water. Each owners or beekeeper shall ensure that a covenant source of water is available at all times to the bees, so that bees will not congregate at swimming pools, water spigots, pet water bowls, bird baths, or other water sources where they may cause human, bird, or domestic pet contact. The water shall be maintained so as not to become stagnant. I, maintenance. Each owner or beekeeper shall ensure that no bee comb or other materials that might encourage robbing are left upon the grounds of the apiary site. Upon the removal from the hive, all such material shall prominently be disposed of in a sealed container placed within a building or other bee-proof enclosure. J, queens. In any instance which a colony exhibits unusually aggressive characteristics by stinging or attempting to sting without due provocation or exhibits an unusual disposition toward swarming, it shall be the duty of the beekeeper to requeen the colony. Queens shall be selected from stock breed for gentleness and non-swarming characteristics. K, prohibited. The keeping of any person of bee colonies in the city not in strict compliance with this section is prohibited. Any bee colony not residing in a movable frame hive structure intended for beekeeping, or any swarm of bees, or any colony residing in a standard or homemade hive which, by virtue of its condition, has obviously been abandoned by the beekeeper, is hereby declared to be a menace to the health and safety of the residents of the city, and is hereby declared to be a nuisance and is prohibited. L, removable. Any bee colonies kept in the city not in compliance in this division or otherwise declared to be a nuisance pursuant to this section may be required to be summarily destroyed or removed from the city at the owner's expense. M, revocation. The right to keep bees pursuant to this section may be revoked or suspended for any violation of the terms and provisions of the section, or for any failure to adhere to any special review, use permit conditions imposed by the city. And colony densities. 1, it is unlawful to keep more than the following number of colonies on any tract within the city based on the size or configuration of the tract on which the apiary is situated. 1/4 acre or less tract size is 2 colonies. 2, more than 1/4 acre but less than 1/2 acre tract size, 4 colonies. That should be a correction there, sorry. 3, more than 1/2 acre but less than 1 acre tracts, 6 colonies. 4, 1 acre or larger tract size, 8 colonies maximum. Number 2, for each 2 colonies authorized under the colony densities, there may be maintained upon the same tract 1 nucleus colony in a hive structure not exceeding 1 standard 9 5/8 inch depth, 10-inch frame hive body with no supers attached as required from time to time for management of swarms. Each such nucleus colony shall be disposed of or combined with an authorized colony within 30 days after the date it is acquired. H, violations. If any provision of the section is violated by any person or entity convicted for said violations, shall subject the violator to the penalty set forth in section 1-21 of this code for each date that the violations continue. Said penalty shall not preclude the city from seeking other remedies at law. repeal or all ordinance resolutions, bylaws, and regulations of the city in conflict with this ordinance are hereby repealed to the extent only of such inconsistency. This repealer shall not be construed to revive any ordinance, resolution, bylaw, or regulation or part thereof, therefore repealed. Severability in any section, paragraph, clause, or provision or part of this ordinance shall be held invalid or unenforceable, or invalidity or enforceability of such section, paragraph, clause, or provision shall not affect any other provisions of this ordinance. Effective date, this ordinance shall be in full force and effected 30 days after publication following final passage and adoption. Introduced, read in full, passed on the first reading, and ordered published this 13th day of January 2025.
How many people do we have that are currently housing bees in the city?
We know of 2 places currently.
2 places currently? Okay. I know when we had the chicken ordinance, of course, there was a lot of people that had their opinions and wanted to give feedback. So we can approve this tonight, but I guess I just want to encourage that if you have questions between now and the next meeting, if you have concerns, if you have anything at all, contact the building department and get a copy of this, get the information out, make sure you understand what's being passed, especially if you are interested in housing bees within the city limits, so that you are very aware and informed of what we're passing. Is that fair to say?
Absolutely.
I just want to make sure that it's very transparent. We're not trying to push this through without discussions. We just want to make sure that everybody is aware of it. So, any questions for the council side?
Subsection, the subsection after quality densities N needs to be changed to O for violations.
Which one was that again?
Subsection, so colony densities N, the next subsection violations says H should be O. Past that I have none.
Call them NOP.
As far as I was taught.
All right.
Guys, not everyone's just, they're just all not B.
Yeah.
B.
Have these like parameters at all been looked at by someone that knows a lot about bees and is kind of expert in the field? Because I'll be honest, I don't know enough about bees to know if that's like.
Yeah, actually, we went through other ordinances in other cities. Probably there was about 4 places that we used. And then Marcus, who's on the fire department, Widener, his family are beekeepers. They have, I want to say about 15 hives, not here in Lamar, but in Penrose area. So I had him review everything to make sure that it seemed in proportion to what actually occurs. So
thank you.
Okay.
Everything look good to you, Lance?
Hey, you found me out. Other than that, in section N, Stephanie got it, but
Yeah.
having a third look the same.
I marked it before she got there, but I figured she caught it herself, so I didn't have to say it again.
Okay. So if you want to pass it, we need to pass it with those 2 changes, corrections on the first reading.
I move to pass on first reading with those 2 corrections.
Do we have a second? We do? Okay. So we have a motion and a second to pass it on the first reading with the 2 corrections as stated. Any other questions? Seeing none, all those in favor signify with an eye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
So of course, we will need to do this on the second reading. So we will have it at the future meeting, at the next meeting for the second reading before we approve it to go into law. So if you do have questions and concerns between now and the next time we have our meeting is the time for you to bring those concerns up and or attend the next meeting. Is that okay?
Absolutely.
All right, moving on to the next item on the agenda is an ordinance for the city of Lamar, Colorado, stating that the intent of the city of Lamar is adopting the 2018 edition of the International Property Maintenance Code with amendments.
That is correct. So when we adopted the 2018 codes for the International Property Maintenance Code, the 2006 stayed in place. The 2018 was not adopted. And once Chief Al Fuhrer came on, I spoke with him about, oh, he's not in here now, about changing to the 2018. He was on board with that as well. So with that being said, I'd like to read the ordinance for the first reading. Ordinance number 1278, an ordinance amending Chapter 16, Article 1 of the Lamar Municipal Code to adopt the International Property Maintenance Code 2018 edition with amendments. Whereas Colorado Revised Statutes, Section 31-15401 grants general police powers to the City Council to promulgate ordinances for the health, safety, and welfare of the public. And whereas the International Code Council Incorporated has issued a 2018 edition of the International Property Maintenance Code. And whereas the City Council of the City of Lamar, Colorado desires and has determined that it is in the best interest of the health, safety, and welfare of the inhabitants of the city to adopt 2018 edition of the International Property Maintenance Code with amendments for application within corporate limit of the City of Lamar, Colorado, and for application to property owned by the city outside the city's corporate limits. Now therefore be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Lamar, Colorado, Part 1, the Lamar Municipal Code, Chapter 16, Article 1, Section 16-1 is hereby repealed in its entirety and replaced, which reads as follows. Section 16-1, adoption pursuant to the Colorado Revised Statutes, Section 31-16201, except there is adopted as the Property Maintenance Code of the city by reference thereto, the International Property Maintenance Code 2018 edition, together with all appendices and tables thereto, published by the International Code Council Incorporated, 500 New Jersey Avenue, Northwest, 6th floor, Washington, D.C., 20001, that code to have the same force and effect as if set forth in the article in every particle, save and except such portions as are added, amended, deleted, or replaced in the article. Part 2, the Lamar Municipal Code, Chapter 16, Article 1, Section 16-3 is hereby repealed in its entirety and replaced, which reads as follows. Section 16-3 amendments. A, the code adopted herein is hereby modified by the following amendments. 1, Section 101.1, title is amended by inserting the City of Lamar. 2, Section 102.3, application of other codes is amended by A, replacing International Zoning Code with Lamar Zoning Code. 3, Section 103.5, fees is amended by inserting as established by the City of Lamar. 4, Section 104.4, identification is deleted in its entirety. 5, Section 111.2, membership of board is amended by replacing 3 with 5 as the minimum number of members. 6, Section 111.2.5, compensation of members is deleted in its entirety. 7, Section 302.4, weeds is amended by inserting 12 inches as the allowable height of weeds. 8, Section 304.14, insect screens is amended by the insertion of April 15th and September 15th. 9, Section 602.3, heat supply is amended by inserting October 1st to May 1st. 10, Section 602.4, occupical workspaces is amended by inserting October 1st to May 1st. B, the cumulative supplement to the International Property Maintenance Code is hereby adopted within the city. Repealer, all ordinances, resolutions, bylaws, and regulations of the city in conflict with this ordinance are hereby repealed to the extent of such inconsistency. This repealer shall not be construed to revive any ordinance, resolution, bylaw, or regulation or part thereof. Heretofore repealed. Servability in any section, paragraph, clause, or provision of this ordinance shall be held invalid or unenforceable. The invalidity or unenforceability of such section, paragraph, clause, or provision shall not affect any other provision of this ordinance. Effective date. This ordinance shall be in full force and effect 30 days after publication, following final passage and adoption. Introduced, read in full, passed on first reading, and ordered published this 13th day of January 2025.
I kind of feel a little nervous on this because like on these items for the amendments, I don't even know what the context of these are for occupiable workspaces is amended by inserting October to May. Well, I don't know what section 602.4 is talking about, so I don't know how that's going to affect the community members or, it's just, I guess I always get a little cautious when we start applying these international property maintenance codes in their entirety, because there's a lot of things as far as environmental or the green, regulations that come in that if we're not careful, we end up passing those and enforcing them onto our community members. Have you reviewed all of those to make sure that there's nothing like that that's going to be detrimental to the community or to possible developers?
Yeah, the International Property Maintenance Code is based more on the fact of helping code enforcement with the yards are upkept, that anyone who is renting a house from a landlord has water, they have sewer,
Right.
they have everything available to them. And these things that are actually in here were actually in the 2006 as well and have not changed.
So is there quite a bit that's changed that's going to be added on for further regulation that's not covered in this that we haven't really reviewed? I guess, is there any significant things that we need to be concerned about?
No, there are a few changes that give you a little bit more guidance versus just leaving it at gray areas, in which I can bring those forward and present those before the next reading. I could put those in here so that you could actually see what the changes are,
Okay.
if that would be helpful.
I would appreciate that, please.
Yeah, I just,
Absolutely.
I mean, I didn't have the time to go to Linda's office and spend a couple of hours
You can
going
also,
through that code book, looking at the stuff that got amended or changed due to just a lot of things happening right now at the shop. And, it would have been easier to view it at night or on the weekend or something like that.
absolutely. You can also, it is free online. So
Okay.
if you go to the International Code Council, you can review any book. You just can't print or copy or paste or anything like that, but it is actually free to anyone to access.
Okay.
So that just might be a good thing for me to say to the public too. It
Right.
is at your fingertips if you need it.
Right. And that's what I wanted to avoid is people thinking we're trying to pass something in a blanket without considering all of the changes that may go with it. So that's why I wanted to make sure to address it. Okay. Any other questions from the council on it?
I don't have any.
So we'll have a chance to review it if you so choose to approve it tonight on this first reading. We can have the opportunity to review it before the second reading and discuss any necessary changes or concerns that may be brought up between now and then.
Sounds fair.
So what would you like to do?
Can you send us the link to the
Absolutely.
code? I move to approve on the first reading.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second to approve on the
We
first.
can then adjust if need be.
Yes, before the final reading. Yeah.
And I would just say, I talked to Steph about the ordinance itself, she did go through, similar to what they did with the older version, at section 16.3, had an older international property code that had the same type of language for the amending pieces through that 16.3. This one basically gets rid of the old one because those aren't will follow the same type of numbers or format where they'll have different things that need to be removed or amended. So she went through it and these are the things that she found to be updated to essentially have it fit our codes.
Okay. So we have a motion and a second. Any final questions? Seeing none, all those in favor signify with an eye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
And as we stated on both items, you have between now and the next meeting to review these. And if you have questions and you want to get more details, you can call the building office
Absolutely.
at the city to get the copy of this reading. Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right, next item on the agenda would be miscellaneous items before we go to an executive session. Do we have any miscellaneous items? Yes?
I just wanted to remind you that we have a new website up. We are doing our very best to make that a great website for our community, bring an additional level of transparency and make it easy for people to access information. There is a challenge with web accessibility that, we're used to just posting 100-page scanned documents, and in no way are those ever web accessible. So we're really working very hard. Courtney and I are working very hard to work through those and look for options, alternatives. I think a good example is what we were able to do on the sales tax page, where we, instead of having just multiple PDFs, we did tables. We've got an apology for not a completely perfect web accessible form, with our sincere hope that we will have the new online form by the end of 2025, which is a great improvement. But if you or community members see issues on the website, especially when it comes to accessibility, then please let us know, and it's truly a work in progress.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, so the next item on the agenda is we have two executive sessions. One's for discussion of personnel matters under Colorado Revised Statutes, sections 24-6402, subsection 4, subsection F, which is for the evaluations of the city administrator, city clerk, and city treasurer. This is our annual evaluations. And then number 2 was for the purpose of determining positions relative to matters that may be subject to negotiations, developing strategy for negotiations, and/or instructing negotiators under Colorado Revised Statutes 24-6402, subsection 4, subsection E, which is regarding Parks and Recreation with Escondido Park. There will be no decisions coming out of these two executive sessions. So immediately following the executive session, we will adjourn the meeting. Do we have a motion to move into the executive sessions?
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify with an aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Unanimous in favor of?
Okay, so we will move into executive session now. Our next city council meeting will be on Monday, January 27th at 7 p.m. We hope to see you then. Thank you very much.